Returning to our example of tossing a coin twice in a row, we've established that there's a 1 in 4 chance of getting 2 heads, 1 in 4 chance of getting 2 tails, and a 1 in 4 chance of getting each combination of heads and tails. So this added together would be 1/2. 1 head, 1 tail. Okay, but how about the probability of 2 heads or 2 tails? So the way we write that is using this symbol here. This stands for OR. So looking at the probability tree here, you can see 2 heads, 1/4, 2 tails, 1/4. So that's 1/4 plus 1/4 is half the time you're going to get either 2 heads or 2 tails, and half the time you're going to get 1 head, 1 tail. So I just kind of let it slip there. So what we do is we add the 2 probabilities of these 2 different states together. So the equation looks like this. The probability of A or B, this is the symbol for OR, equals the probability of A plus the probability of B. So in this case, what have we got? So we've got the probability. So this is the probability of 2 heads or 2 tails. So it's equal to the probability of 2 heads plus the probability of 2 tails, which is 1/4 plus 1/4, which is 2 quarters, which is 1/2. So half the time you're going to get either 2 heads or 2 tails. Now how about another example from our dice from before? And then how about if we asked, what is the probability of rolling a sum of 11 or 12? So that's i.e. either 2 6s or a 5, so 6 and a 6, or a 5 and a 6. So here's 6 and a 6, and then here's a 6 and a 5, and a 5 and a 6. So there are 3 possibilities. So that's 3 out of 36, or 112 if we just count those up. In fact, let's write that up here. So that's 3 out of 36, or 1 in 12. So in fact what we need to do is work out the probability of a 6 and a 6, or probability of 5 and a 6, or the probability, or the probability of a 6 and a 5. Okay, so it's either this one, or this one, or this one. So that is the probability of 6 and 6, plus the probability of 5 and 6, plus the probability of 6 and 5. So that gives us 1 in 36 plus 1 in 36 plus 1 in 36. Remember, there are 36 different possibilities here in our grid, which is 3 in 36, which is 112, which is the same answer, which is reassuring. So those are 2 different examples. So if we've got an OR, then we have to add the 2 individual probabilities together. Now I've just got one last thing to say. So how about the probability of heads or tails for a single roll is 1/2, let's do it in full. So that's the probability of a head plus the probability of a tail, so just from a single roll of the dice. So that's 1/2 plus 1/2, which is 1. So the general point I want to make here is that for an exhaustive list of events. So if we have A or B, or A or B or C, depending how much they are, then that is equal to 1. So you've always got to pick one of them by definition because it's an exhaustive list.